Okay, so this is Woman's World, May 24th, 2021. So let's start in on this magazine. And as usual with every Woman's World magazine, they have so much information that you want to pick it up, you want to read it, and you don't want to miss one moment of it. Fill your week with smiles. Okay. We're going to try and find the very first day here to fill. Okay. Joke of the week. Accidentally went food shopping on an empty stomach, and now I'm the proud owner of aisle 6. Okay, now the very first day to share with you would be May 23rd through May 29th is African Violet Week, which we have lots of African violets coming up. It says, add cheer to your day in your home with African violets. The blooms are said to be symbolizing strength and devotion, and it couldn't be easier to create that display. Actually, it couldn't be easier if you go outside right now where we have plenty of African violets growing wildly for some reason. May 24th through 30th is Map Reading Week. Yeah, grab a map. Sure, the GPS on your phone is convenient, but that doesn't mean there's always still a place for paper maps, especially when you have no cell service. And despite the stereotype that men are better reading maps than women, a study in the journal Psychological Science reveals that that's not always true. When researchers' subjects read maps in various scenarios, they found that women and men performed equally when the test involved a social component like helping someone. So the next time you need some navigation help, go ahead and reach for a map. You'll be back on course in no time. Okay, Tuesday, May 25th is National Wine Day, and we don't celebrate that. Next one would be Thursday, May 27th, Something to Fear Day. Try something new. This holiday is all about not letting fear hold you back, making it a perfect day to go out and try a new activity. Indeed, researchers say that Nature Neuroscience found that doing something outside of your usual routine is good for your well-being. They also tracked the movements and moods of 122 volunteers for 3 months and found that people reported more positive moods on days that they had new experience, and the feel-good effects carried over to the next day. And now you don't have anything too wacky to get the perks, say the researchers. You'll experience a mood boost whether you attempt a home project that's outside of your comfort zone or simply ride your bike on a new route. On Friday, May 28th, it's Hamburger Day. Yep, bite into the yum. We asked George Motes, the author of Great American Burger Book, for his tips for making your best burger. His advice, opt for ground beef that's 80% lean. You can almost ensure that you're going to have a juicy burger, he says. If you're grilling, he suggests cooking the burger in a cast iron skillet on a propane grill. When you cook a burger in the pan, the fat stays in it and it keeps it juicy. Finally, opt for a melty cheese like a mozzarella or American and layer that lettuce under the burger to keep the bun from getting soggy. Start your week with a laugh. These are my workout clothes. I had a great workout trying to get them in and out of them. This woman's pointing to her clothes. What kind of music do whales listen to? Orchestra. That's ORCA-STRA. It looks like a bunch of kids at school, and they're standing in front of a door that says Career Day. I want to be a lawyer, so they get recess. And this one little girl's telling the other girls. Okay, power of love. Our rekindled love is proof that miracles can happen. After nearly 3 lonely years of being a widow, 81-year-old Florence Harvey reached out to her high school sweetheart after he lost his wife. That chance phone call proved it's never too late for a happy ending. The top picture here is Florence and Fred last August 8th on their wedding day. Below is Florence in 1956 and Fred in 1955. It says 3 creative ways to stay connected online. We're going to read that little bit first before we read the article. 1. Host a movie night. Watch a movie together in real time by visiting teleparty.com. Simply click the Get Teleparty for free, navigate to your favorite streaming platform, Netflix, Disney+, Hulu, and HBO Max, and click on Start Party. Then email the link to your family to join, and Teleparty will synchronize and play the video on all the devices at the same time. 2. Play an online game. Download House Party, the free app that lets you chat with up to 8 people at once while playing fun games together. Simply click on the dice icon on the top right to play classic games like Heads Up, Trivia, and Quick Draw. Pick the game, add friends who you like to play, and you'll feel the miles between you melt away. Craft from afar. Visit littleredwindow.com. That's Little red, R-E-D, window, WINDOW.com for endless easy craft ideas using supplies you already have at home, like a stuffed animal made from a sock or a wreath built out of a clothespin. Simply type Virtual Craft Party into the search box or browse the site to find a project you'd like to try. Send out a list of supplies before your craft night and hop onto Zoom call with loved ones to get crafty together. Florence Harvey picked up her phone slowly, began dialing numbers scrawled on the paper in her hand. It was the day after Valentine's Day 2020, and the 81-year-old Caledon, Ontario widow was feeling a bit lonely. Otherwise, she probably never would have gotten up the nerve to call Fred Paul. It was nearly been 70 years since Florence had spoken to her high school sweetheart. In all those years, reconnecting with him had never crossed her mind. But a few days earlier, when she visited her brother at his retirement home, Florence discovered Fred's older brother also lived there. She went over to say hello, and as they chatted, she learned that Fred had become a widower. The heartbreak of losing a spouse was something Florence knew all too well after 57 happy years of marriage. Her husband had passed away from cancer in 2017. She remembered how hard that the first year and knew that Valentine's Day had to have been especially difficult for Fred. His brother had given her Fred's number, so Florence told herself, I'll just say hi and offer my condolences. But as she connected and heard Fred's voice, a flood of memories began playing in her thoughts like a cherished old movie. The first glow of love. The glow of first love. I'll get it right here in a minute. Though Florence and Fred went to the same grade school, it wasn't until they were in their teens in the 1950s that sparks began to fly. Living in Wadsworth, a small town in Newfoundland, a Labrador province in Canada, there was no theaters or restaurants, so the two would take long walks together, steal kisses, and talk about everything under the sun. At night, with no telephones, Florence and Fred, who lived across the lake from each other, would flick their bedroom lights on and off. It's a signal, good night, I love you. But after 2 years of dating, Fred, who was 3 years older than Florence, graduated and moved to Toronto to go to work with his older brother. With the distance, the two grew apart, but both went on to marry and have families, and their younger love became a faded memory. But just like Florence, when Fred heard her voice, the years melted away. Love comes full circle. The two talked with ease about losing a spouse, about their families and finding happy lives, and about old memories of the places and people they knew growing up. At the end of the chat, Fred asked Florence's number, and their calls continued 3 to 4 times a week for hours on end, which got them through the loneliness of pandemic lockdown. With each call, both felt stirrings in their hearts. After 5 months, neither could deny that there was still something special between them. Desperate to see him in person, last July 5th, Florence traveled to Toronto to surprise Fred on his 84th birthday. She has a son who lives near Fred, so not wanting to just show up unannounced, she stopped there and called Fred. When he learned that she was in town, Fred rushed outside and wrote, "Welcome Florence," in chalk across his driveway. As soon as she arrived, Fred greeted her with a hug and a kiss on the cheek. As they held hands, they both were struck by an overwhelming surge of love. Just 3 days later, Fred asked, "Will you marry me?" And Florence responded, "Yes, and soon." On August 8th, 2020, a small group of friends and family gathered to witness the couple exchange their vows at Norval United Church in Georgetown, Ontario. Florence gazed into the groom's eyes and said, "Fred, you were my first man to walk me home, and you will be the last man to walk me home." In turn, Fred played his accordion and sang his vows to his beaming bride in the Ricky Skaggs song entitled, "I Wouldn't Change You If I Could." The minister, who has overseen more than 500 weddings, noted theirs was the most moving service he ever conducted. There were tears in the eyes of everyone gathered. "Our story is proof that it's never too late for love," Fred says with a smile. "We both believe God had a hand in our getting together again." "I guess miracles do happen," Florence nodded in agreement. "Having someone to love at any age is wonderful and makes all the difference." She beams, "And I feel very blessed to have found it again with Fred, my first love." The author, Diane Nichols. Okay. let's do these next few pages and stop for the night, okay? Natural ways to feel great. 4 ways to sidestep the summer dizzy spells. For 50% of the women over 45 who feel a little unsteady on their first time of feet this time of year, help is here. Warmer weather and dehydration combined with natural age-related estrogen dips can trigger dizziness, but these easy fixes restore your sense of balance and help you outsmart painful spring falls. Toss a little sack. One of the reasons kids have great balance, they play, and in doing so, they move around in all different directions. Whether you toss a ball for your pooch or a beanbag into the cornhole, having fun makes you more sure-footed, too. That's the word from the University of Michigan scientists who say 20 minutes of play daily cuts your risk of falls by 50%. Ken Anu, MD, says, as regular bursts of motion stimulate nerves in the brain and heighten your balance, coordination, and reflexes. Act like a flamingo. Standing on even half a minute on one leg like a flamingo does reduces the odds of a fall by 55%. British scientists say that turns out every time you stand on a single leg, your inner ear sends a balance sharpening message to your brain. To do while chatting on the phone, bend your knees slightly, then lift one foot off the floor. Hold for 30 seconds and then switch legs and repeat. Fun in the sun. Take your fun outside. Getting 20 minutes of strong sun exposure daily allows your skin to ramp up production of vitamin D3, and this sharpens your balance 35%, reducing the odds of a fall up to 70%, suggest researchers in the Caspen Journal of Internal Medicine. Neurologist J. Kim, MD, says D3 keeps their muscles healthy so they can react quickly when you lean or even stumble. Grill veggies. Asparagus, spinach, and broccoli are rich in vitamin C and glutathione, which nourish the balance center in your inner ear, and a daily dose reduces dizzy spells for up to 75% of people studied, Japanese scientists say. And the tip, short cook times like grilling. Boost the benefit by reducing nutrient breakdown, or try a supplement like Life Extension Glutathione, Cetirizine, and C. lifeextension.com/ww. Note, talk to a doctor before supplementing. Author Brenda Kearns. They give a recipe here. If you like Brussels sprouts and yogurt together, it's roasted Brussels sprouts with yogurt dip, but no thank you. This week, radical health tip. The natural way to get more pep today. You can slash energy sapping inflammation just by kicking off your shoes. When the body comes into contact with the earth, it's called quote-unquote grounding. It absorbs free electrons from the ground, neutralizing harmful free radicals enough to cut inflammation by 277%. Almost like plunging into a giant battery, this practice replenishes the body with energy. To get the perks, wiggle your toes in the lawn, walk on untreated sand or soil, and go for a swim in the ocean or lake. Can't go barefooted? Shoes with soft leather soles also conduct free electrons, courtesy of Ann Louise Gittleman, PhD. To receive 3 free wellness guides, pre-order her new book, Radical Longevity, at radicallongevitybook.com. 3 wacky mood boosters. Want to hop off the worry wheel and brighten your mood in a hurry? New research shows that these unusual remedies lifts your spirit in 1 minute or less. To cure crankiness, bite a pencil. The quickest fix to improve your mood is bite a pencil. Really? A new study out of the University of South Australia finds that placing a pencil or a pen across the corners of your mouth and very gently biting down engages the same facial muscles as when you grin. According to the study, lead Fernando Marmolo Ramos, PhD, mimicking a smile in this way triggers the amygdala, the emotional center of the mind, to release the brain chemicals that bring on an instant mood boost. To release worries, say this quote-unquote magic word. Great news, everyday worries don't have to bring down your mood. Turns out they're just silently saying the word clear, quote-unquote. In your mind, break the spell of unwanted thoughts, according to the new research published in the Journal of Nature Communication. University of Colorado investigators who scanned the brains of study participants found that those words repeated that this particular magic word, quote-unquote, were able to flush tension from their minds in milliseconds. Researchers suspect that quick trick functions like a reboot button, cutting power to the repetitive worry loop in the brain so that you can quickly pivot back to more pleasant thoughts. To shake off anxiety, Doodle a daisy. Simply swirling a pen across the paper reduces anxiety-triggering stress hormones by up to 59%. Drawing gives the mind a physical outlet for anxiety, pushing it from inside out. Drexel University scientists say, and you don't need to be an artist to reap the benefit. Study leads Jirga Kamal ED notes the doodling proved that equally effective for folks of every skill level. K.E. Kluzniak is the author. Outsmart heartburn without medication. The pantry cure. Feeling the burn? Sip a glass of water mixed with 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Greek scientists say that doing so halts a heartburn flare twice as fast as acid-taming medications. The pantry staple neutralizes the acids that wash up into your esophagus after eating. Go ahead and snosh on that juicy burger you've been craving, or pour yourself another glass of sangria. These natural remedies stop heartburn flares before they even start. The best part, they work so well that you won't have to be able to reach for that acid-blocking proton pump inhibitor, PPI, which can increase your risk of COVID complication. Sprinkle rosemary. When it comes to making meals more delicious than ever, set aside table salt and reach for a flavorful herb like rosemary, oregano, or even basil. The reason? Trimming just 2 teaspoons of salt from your daily diet reduces your heartburn odds by 90%, so say the Chinese investigators, who note that salt slows the rate at which food empties from the stomach, increasing the likelihood of bothersome acid that will access the burn zone in the esophagus. Do the 5-5-5 trick. Deep breathing eases the stress that's known as heartburn triggering. Plus, it activates the diaphragm, which helps keep the acid down to head off the heartburns before it starts. Mike Hyman, the MD, advises practicing this technique just before meals. Inhale deeply for 5 seconds, then exhale slowly for another 5, repeating for a total of 5 times. Upgrade lunch. 7-grain rye or whole wheat makes for a tasty sandwich and cuts heartburn flare by 50%. A Swedish study suggests that the payload of the fiber in the whole grain bread mops up the gastric chemicals that trigger symptoms. Plus, it eases abdominal pressure that can push acid upward. Try an ocean cure. Alginatids derived from the seaweed form a foam-like barrier that blocks the flow of acid into the esophagus. In a Taiwanese study, folks who took alginatids after meals had relief on the par with acid-blocking meds. Try Life Extension Esophageal Guardian at lifeextension.com/ww. Note, talk to a doctor before supplementing. Melissa Gothard. And we will do one more page. I don't like that one, so I guess we won't do that page. I don't know why I marked it. We have time for this, I believe. Yeah. Simple swap for the 100% healthy. Health news. You don't need to make big changes to your daily habits to boost your health. These tiny tweaks will lead to major improvements. Sharpen your recall. Swap nuts for berries. Tossing a handful of blueberries into your morning cereal or fruit salad acts as a mental boost to power you through the whole day. A new study in European Journal of Nutrition found that blueberries improve memory, thinking speed, and problem solving for at least 8 hours. Even better, additional research shows that enjoying the juicy gem daily creates long-lasting improvements in recall and may lower the risk of Alzheimer's. Credit the berries' polyphenols, which boost communications between brain cells. Or you could play a game. If you're feeling foggy after lunch, grab your phone. Playing a video game that immerses you in another world stimulates your brain to rapidly perk you up. Plus, 30 minutes of gaming daily sharpens your memory within a month, according to a new study in the University of California. Swapping oregano for basil lowers cholesterol. Researchers for oregano or parsley to flavor your favorite pizza or pasta, try sweet basil leaves instead. Not only will they add a delicious peppery flavor, they'll protect your heart. A study in the Journal of Phytotherapy research suggests savoring basil daily may lower your bad LDL cholesterol by 68%, triglycerides by 63%, and total cholesterol by 56%. The compounds in the herbs are all-stars when it comes to reducing the amount of heart-harming fats formed in the body. Speed slimming. Swap the dark roast for light. When switching on the coffee maker, swap your usual dark roast brew for one made with a light roasted bean. Doing so turns your Joe into a powerful slimmer. Less proceed, less lighter roasted beans bream with carloxic acid and a compound that stimulates the energy engines that inside the body cells to speed the fat burn. Norwegian researchers say that women who sip coffee varieties highest in caloric acid lost 3 times weight than those who drank less of the compound. A bonus, a separate study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition reveals that the Java's caffeine spikes metabolism, helping torch an extra 150 calories a day. Or use small plates. The UK researchers secretly shank breakfast for some study volunteers and served their meals on smaller appetizer plates. Folks felt no hungrier and ate no more less than the rest of the day than those given bigger meals. Large dishes make it easier to overeat before you realize you're full. Boost immunity. Swap solo for social. Invite a friend to join you on your next stroll, and you'll boost your body's natural defenses. Whether you walk together in person or simply chat over the phone, spending more time connecting with others make it easy for your body to fend off colds, flus, and other viruses, according to the research at the UCLA School of Medicine. That's because social tamps down your harmful inflammation, which helps your immune system function more robustly. And take your time. Pick up your grocery bags and laundry baskets slowly. You'll build more muscle tissues, which is important since that's where the new infection-fighting T cells grow until they're needed to fend off viral invaders, suggests a new German study. Lift your mood. Swap the oldies for pop. Now, rather than listening to your favorite songs on repeat, change the station or use the streaming service to play songs recommended for you to listen to based on your preferences. New music boosts good feelings more than your songs that you've heard before. A study in the science found that unexpected surprises in the melodies release feel-good dopamine, or step with pep. An upbeat gait tells your brain that you're happy mood, the German scientists say, and is an instant joy. For a sleep deep, swap your meds for Tylenol. Your aches keeping you up at night, the real culprit could be your OTC meds, that's over-the-counter meds. Scientists at Ohio's Bowling Green State University say the non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, the NSAIDs, like Advil, impair your slumber by blocking your body's release of sleep hormone melatonin. But long-acting acetaminophen, like Tylenol 8-hour, does not affect melatonin, allowing for ache-free snooze, or change the channel. For a good night's sleep, try switching the NCIS or Young Sheldon. Chinese says that laughter is easing anxiety to help you sleep more soundly. And we will pick up on page 24 tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in tonight. And we've got a good start on May 24th, 2021, Woman's World Magazine. Glad to report.